Welcome to Smokeysteveandmarc.
I'm Mark.
I'm Steve.
Welcome back, y'all.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. We made it to the weekend. We did. Oh, and what a week it was.
It was.
Just a lot of moving parts and a lot of
another one of those, not bad, but busy.
Busy. And well, just in time for a real talk video.
Just in time for a real
mental health,
check-in
a little,
Yeah. Well,
which is what we're doing tonight.
So I hope that encourages you to reflect a little bit tonight as well on how you're doing, things you're grateful for, things you're working on.
Definitely, yeah.
So it's been a mix the last week of really good stuff and then really kind of disappointing.
Some disappointing
a big
mix
things.
of all of that, And so I figure what we'll do is I think we're gonna take turns, So I think we'll do I'll talk for a little bit and then Steve will talk for a little bit and then we'll reconvene at the end together.
Sounds good.
Sounds exciting. But anyway, before we do that, how was your week? We hope you had a great week. First week of autumn. In case you didn't know.
Already.
We didn't see that last video we did. We kind of made a big deal about it.
If you're in the eastern third of the country, our thoughts are with you as things are slowly filling up with water from Florida north.
Yes.
We're getting, I think, some humid air piled up from that because Pennsylvania would be a while to get to Florida, but the plume that comes off of those storms,
it's so humid.
It's tropical humid.
You can feel it inside.
Anywhere skin touches skin, it's sweating.
Yeah, right. It is
under your chest, under your stomach, between your thighs, everywhere you can sweat, you're sweating.
But yes, our thoughts and our prayers are definitely with all who who's affected by was it Helene or Helen?
I think it's Helene.
It might be Helene
because you don't make bad decisions that end up with your house getting destroyed in a hurricane.
No,
it just happens. It happens, and I'd love to say there's a reason for everything, but how can I watch that and say?
I know.
I can, but I do think you can find meaning in things, even if there is no meaning. Like, how do you make sense out of Let's say you and I bought our first house, get ourselves together, storm comes through, and that's it,
and takes it away.
2 days, everything that we worked for 20 years is gone. But but seriousness, our thoughts are with you. We're going to be having a light weekend here. We had some good news today.
Yeah,
very exciting.
Good news today. We'll have a nice light weekend. We're gonna have fun tomorrow with Steve. Will try it. That'll be fun.
It'll be something sweet.
Yeah, sweet and ultimate.
Yeah, appropriate for the fall.
So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
You want to go first?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna head out and give you some space. Thank you. And I'll see you guys in a couple minutes. All right. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Round 1. I'm Steve, in case you forgot since the intro, and welcome. So I have my emotional support animal, the stuffed one, here. And then I had Bandit here, and then I had Oscar over there. So we're doing a little mental health check-in, and this week has been very up and down. And I'll tell you about a moment of truth and breakthrough that I think happened yesterday and today. I was out of work Monday. Marc, I stayed home. He wasn't feeling too well, so I stayed home from work, and I wasn't able to get much work done, even though I was working from home. And so when I went into work on Tuesday, I was a little weepy in the morning because I was feeling like, how can I be here when he's at home? And I'm thinking, how can I be at home when I need to be at work? And I was just feeling like I was always letting somebody down somewhere in the mix here. I'm letting somebody down. And so it made it difficult to kind of shake that. So for the first, 2 hours of the day on Tuesday, I just sat at my desk and worked in between, sent emails in between tears. A couple of coworkers noticed and were like, are you okay? Do you need anything? Do you have to talk? And I was like, no. And then one of my supervisors came, and she's usually a very good comfort. She kind of puts things in perspective. She's a family member. She's been in the field for years. And so she tried to kind of put it in perspective that, life is happening. Things need to get done. We don't need to, drive ourselves insane doing it, but we still plug along. And that spoke to me a little bit to try to keep things moving. Sometimes the same bit of advice that would be helpful one day is useless on another. But to try to just keep plugging along. And I've been using Oscar, see if he comes, as an emotional support animal when I can't take this with me. I always see Oscar in the morning. Like when I get up, it's usually the hardest. It's Tuesday, just to give you an example, I got up and immediately I began crying. Then I started getting dressed and I put my headphones on so I wouldn't think as much, try to drown out the noise. And then getting dressed, the biggest obstacle in the world is getting dressed. It seems totally insurmountable in the morning and so confusing and overwhelming. But I do it. And then as I'm getting ready, I'm like, how am I going to do this? I know I'm crazy. I think most of them know I'm crazy. But I don't know if they know that it's, a little beyond that. And it's situational to some degree. We had a lot of stuff go on in a short period of time, and the stuff that affected both of us and the stuff that affected each of us differently. So when I mopped up my tears Tuesday, came home, Wednesday, I felt pretty good going into work. It was hump day, and I was busy enough that I was just at my desk the whole time. And it flew. When I don't even put music in or anything, I'm too busy to even stop for that, then it's a good thing for me. Productive to be productive in that way. So threw myself into that yesterday. What the hell happened yesterday? So yesterday was, as far as work, I did something bad. Well, I made a human error, but apparently it's worth crucifixion. I completely and utterly forgot a training I was supposed to present an hour away that began at 11 a.m. And my boss, thank God, I know she was pissed, but thank God she had said something, because it was literally not in my calendar, not in my notes. And I keep track of that shit. Like today, we had a Zoom meeting that I was the first one there. The other day at work, the last few days at work, I've been the first one in, turning the alarm off, not setting it off, just to try to get ahead, to try to get comfortable in the space to do the stuff I need to do. And it was harder to do as the week went on. And then after making a mistake, a big one, I just kind of went to my bosses. I said, look, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Let me go fix it. And I did. So I hopped in a car with an hour and 15 minutes to drive about an hour, and have to go get keys and start heading on the road. It's pouring, and there's fog. But, some things are important. So finally got there, and it was okay. And it was a good group. Usually when I talk to groups like that, it's groups of clients, patients, consumers, individuals, what have you, who are usually like in day programs and residential settings, that kind of thing. And they were a great group. And we talked about wellness recovery action planning, and they were into it. Some of them knew what it was, which the kind of stuff I promote at work as far as recovery and resilience and things like that. It doesn't get spread around as much as I would like it to. You have people who are lifers in group homes and in community therapy settings. So they were a good group. They were happy to have me there. The group I was meeting with, my other coworkers, were like, hey, better late than never. I wasn't even late. I was 5 minutes early getting there for all the hoopla of dropping the ball, when in fact, actually, it went pretty well, probably pretty seamlessly, considering it was me. I was the one who screwed up. So you don't get credit really for making up your own mistakes. But I do think I cleaned it up pretty well. I have moments time to time where my memory's not so good. But again, the day before it happened, I had a Zoom that my boss thankfully sat in on, because it was to give reports. Oh no, it was in person. I had an in-person thing to do Tuesday morning when the crying was happening. I was like, I can go like this, but they're going to see that Steve came in looking a little rough for today's appointment. So crazy on Tuesday, okay on Wednesday. Thursday, forgot to do something, dropped the ball. Presentation went well though, like I said, and then I made it home, and it was like no big deal. Nobody died. Will it matter in a year? Will it matter in 6 months? I don't know. That was kind of what was hitting me, because usually I'm really, really self-conscious about what people in like positions of leadership think. You're very, very concerned, and I kind of mood alter off of that. Ever since I was a kid, I wasn't a teacher's pet exactly, but I never really cared about approval from peers as much as I did from people in positions of power: teacher, father, sister, whatever it was, going through school, going through work, boss, supervisor, any of that kind of thing. And so disappointing a person who's providing direction is upsetting, because it feels like, well, I didn't do my job, and they're keeping an eye on me, and they shouldn't have to as much, because I shouldn't be so high maintenance. I should be able to just work. And I've been doing it for 10 years, so I don't mean to sound like I've been there 6 months and they expect so much. I've been doing this a while. But one of my strengths is not doing as much of the scheduling and keeping things in order. I think I've got it right, and then I check later and it's off. And I'm not talking about I gave it my best half-ass and now I'm just going to say I couldn't do it. There's a curious thing I've noticed with people when you have, whether they work in mental health or they don't, there's an assumption that if you're not feeling well, it's your fault. You're forgetting to do something. Did you remember to do this? Did you remember to do that? And it becomes like a tisk, tisk, tisk. It's your fault that you're crazy. No, that's not how that works. It is very possible for someone to be doing everything they can, fighting tooth and nail, and still not be succeeding. And that doesn't mean they're not trying hard enough. That's the bullshit that we try to talk about with stigma and to get out of people's heads. But, the killer's calling from inside the house, But that changes generationally and how that goes. And because I work in mental health and it affects my life, it's kind of, kind of gets to me a little bit sometimes. But I like what I do. I like the people I work with. I'm going to be starting another new project, a support group sort of a meeting group for young folks in recovery. Obviously, not me, but like 15 to 24, teenage, the transition age. And we're going to be, this idea came up a while ago. It just didn't get off the ground, to be holding a meeting with food where we can sit and give a gathering space for people who are younger and into mental health and recovery and that stuff into one space so they can meet and we can talk and we can share and whatnot. So that's a new little project. I'm going to be teaching more in October than I have in the last 3 months. I have to teach mental health first aid. I have some other projects going. That irons in the fire, if you will. I have like a bunch of little ones here and there. And generally, where I work, if you can keep your stuff moving along, no one's going to helicopter over you. No one's going to micromanage you. And even though I've had some setbacks, I still wouldn't say I was being micromanaged. I was copying my supervisor on all the emails to make sure there was a nice flow of things going through and that people were getting responded to and all that kind of thing. Not how I prefer it, but I can understand why they would want to approach it that way because it seems like that approach would relieve problems. Sometimes it has, sometimes it hasn't. So work aside, work's most of my life. Work aside, Mark and I are good. I feel bad about his accident. When I was crying on Tuesday morning at work, I was like, I don't know what to do. He was walking and he fell and I couldn't get there in time. And I thought he was texting me and all I could picture is him on the ground with food everywhere, bleeding. And I was just really upset with myself for not being there to do that. Then I was embarrassed about being at work, talking about it because like, they don't care. Get your shit done. So the thing is, though, where I work, they do care. And they expect you to get your shit done, too. They love you both. You need to be able to do both. So as far as a weekly check-in, it's been up and down. The ups were good. The progress I think I made was that I didn't feel like throwing up because I thought maybe I disappointed my boss. Because I know it was an honest mistake. It wasn't laziness. It wasn't lack of keeping track of things. So I didn't feel like a bad person. I felt like I forgot something. There's a difference. And then coming back, I thought, man, I'm like, no, I really don't care. I did the best I could after being in a bad situation. Have I had more than other people? Yeah, probably. In the last few years, when things get busy, it gets scattered. When I was home during COVID, it was different. Everybody was home. I was online most of the day checking in with people. And now I'm pretty much in the office and everyone else kind of floats in and out. The kind of work I do doesn't make sense really to be working from home. So there's work. Mark and I are good. He's healing nicely. The bruises are healing. My eating's been better. I've become addicted to zero sugar Jolly Ranchers because they don't have cherry; they have raspberry in there, and it's zero sugar. It's zero sugar, but it's 16 grams of carbs. But the carbs are sugar alcohol, like erythritol or something. So they're zero net carbs if that's how you float, and they're perfect for dry mouth, which I get a lot. This recent med gives me that, so I have those and other comforts. Now we'll be able to hopefully get out and do a little bit more soon. I hope. Rather than just, our usual runs, go to the store, call an Uber. We've been without a car for a while, and have been for a while since the middle of August. So, but that's in the works also and looking good. So that's the only thing I'm going to share with you now. I'm going to pass you over to Mark. I hope he's doing well. We haven't really chatted since I got home, and then we have the weekend together. Tonight we're going to do mental health chats, which is good because Mark always feels like I gotta push him a little to open up because he always feels better. He always finds people relate to him. He always, it's a good thing for him, but it's like a Band-Aid, one motion, right off, just so he can vent and be good himself. So I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to pass you to Mark. Thanks for indulging me. Have a good Friday.
Okay, so I guess it's my turn. No, you know what? I thought this would be a good opportunity to kind of, update everybody or fill you in on what's been going on over the last few weeks, specifically since the accident. And if you don't know, I was in a car accident about a month ago, and it was a bad one. The car was totaled, airbags were deployed, and but all that's behind the insurance and the settle, all that's behind us now, but the lingering effects, are what I'm talking about. And I did get injured. And it was, it took a while to get back on track. I found myself kind of reliving the accident, and thinking, okay, what could have I done differently? Was this totally my fault? Things can change so quickly, just like that, things can change. And, granted, absolutely, the accident could have been much worse. There could have been fatalities. There could have been way more, the injuries could be worse, so in that respect, I'm, very grateful that it wasn't worse than it was, but it still was enough to kind of change things, if that makes sense, you know. Now about let's see, I don't know the exact date, but it was last week sometime. You know, we had taken some time off, some impromptu time off, last week and this week, and mostly it was me. I didn't feel well at all, and of course, well, Steve had just talked, so he wasn't himself either. So we had decided to take a break from YouTube and kind of went day by day with it, and so we ended up taking I guess what would have been like an official break, because I mean, it was like 5 days in a row there that we didn't film. Well, I had another accident. I had taken an Uber to go shopping, and I got home and I had two big bags of groceries, and the shopping bags we use of groceries, and I fell on the concrete sidewalk. The sidewalk and spaces are uneven, and I think I tripped or something, and I couldn't. Let me tell you, it was not graceful at all. It wasn't. I mean, I went down, and I did go down really, really hard. There was groceries went everywhere, and I'll tell you, the Uber driver was so nice, and he was so cute, y'all. I was all nervous just because he was cute. Italian guy. He was. There's funny things you remember, right? But he like stopped, backed up, got out of the car, and helped. He gathered the groceries, helped me up. What? He was such a nice guy, and the neighbors came out, and it was like it was so embarrassing. But I got hurt, and actually the injuries from that hurt so much more to me than the car accident, and lasted so much longer than the car accident. It kind of surprised me. I just still don't feel well, and physically when I'm not feeling well, and especially when it's like day after day after day after day, it can affect me mentally, my emotional health. And so let me go back to the injuries real quick here, because I have some pictures to show you now. Please don't focus on the fatness. Look, I've embraced the fatness at this point. I will take care of it, and I know that I'm going to, and we'll talk about that in 1 second. But I did want to show you the injuries from the accident. I had fallen on my down pretty much on my right, and I had fallen on my hand, and that's a picture of my hand. I thought for sure I broke it. I thought for sure, but I didn't. But it was heavily bruised. I couldn't. I could move it, but not too much. I knew it wasn't broke because I could move it, and it's not as bad today. You can see the black and blue going down this way now, but all of that redness and swelling it has dissipated. It's still a little bit swollen, but it's not as bad as it was. The middle finger here was affected as well. I could barely move it for the first 3 days, and now it just feels like it's like big or something. It doesn't hurt, but and then and this is my right side with the bruises on it. Which hurts. And then this picture here is my neck area here. And these bruises, they showed up later. Like I'm saying, like 3 days later. I just kept finding more and more bruises, so I think, I don't know, still see it or not here. I have the right side. I think I have the right side. Yeah, I can't see it in the thing there, but they're still there, and they don't hurt as much. And then of all things, cracked the rib on the left side. So from the accident from the car, I have the rib on this side. From the accident on the sidewalk, I have the rib on this side, in addition to all of that. And then, of course, this is on top of having, AS and the rheumatoid arthritis. So what I think happened when I fell, my body got jarred, like shock to the entire body, because the last 2 weeks it felt like my entire body. And I'm not one that complains about pain. I'm not. But this was something different, and I think it affected the rheumatoid arthritis, because there's my ankles, and prior to this they weren't this bad with the inflammation. At the end of the day, they're like this or even bigger. So it's something that I need to take a look at. But yeah, it did affect my my emotions. But one thing is that what I'm trying to do here is to turn everything around right now, because I've reached a point, and I wish that I could tell you what happened. I don't know how the light came on. I don't know what happened, but I have reached a point where I said to myself, I don't like the way that I look. I don't like my mobility. I don't like what is happening to me physically. I don't like my weight. What are the things that I don't like that are within my power that I might be able to change? And then how can I change it? And that's what I did. And I'm not going to lie. It was pretty much looking in the mirror and saying, God, you're fat, but from that, became some inspiration to maybe do some action. So I went ahead and made an appointment. I have an orthopedic appointment coming up. I think it's within 2 weeks. I'm not sure the exact date. And some physical therapy with water, some aqua therapy in a pool. And I downloaded some exercises, low impact exercises that I can start with. I'm going to be starting really with kind of like I don't know, like low impact stuff. I want to do a little bit of harm reduction here. I want to start low and just make things a little bit better than they were before. So as I get better, of course, I can do more and more. But the last few weeks, I haven't been able to do anything at all. But I'm going to start out. So I did make that appointment. I made an appointment with my doctor, the rheumatologist as well. I still didn't make an appointment with the rheumatologist since the first accident. So I did that as well. So that's a little bit of action on my part there, because it's great to have a plan. It's great to want change. And I'm inching more and more closer to just being like, okay, I want to make these positive changes in my life. But it's all in how we implement it. It's all the action that counts. So I was able to do a little bit of action there with making appointments and getting these exercises ready and starting them. My mental health, I've been talking to my friend and my old therapist at work. When Stephen and I are both going through something, we are each other's just best support. We really, really are. But when we're both struggling, it's very, very helpful to look outside of the relationship. I never recommend, just relying on one person, be it your spouse or significant other or a therapist. I think that there should be multiple ways that you can, be able to talk to somebody before things spiral way out of control, because they can spiral out of control very fast and without realizing it. And that's my track record, So I just kind of wanted to contain that before it got really, really bad, But I tell you, since then, and talking with Steven and, and all these things, I've learned that we're getting through things again. Like I knew this, but like when you have something that happens and you get through it with your significant other, you realize, what? These are life things, and we are perfectly capable of getting through them. We have to buy a new car. It seems so overwhelming. We can do that. I got injured. I will heal. Stephen is having a bad, mental health day, very bad mental health day. It will end. It's not endless. I'm here. What can I do for you right now in the moment? Is there anything I can do for you? And he does the same for me. That's my biggest help. And, I'm so grateful for it. I can't put it into words, because you can't replace that. You can't. But at this point, moving forward, things are good. We're doing okay. We're getting through things. We're taking the time when we need the time, as far as the channel goes, and as far as work goes, and life things. You need to have time for yourself where you're not pre-engaged with other things. I get overwhelmed very quickly when there's a ton of moving parts going on, and having to take Ubers and all this and that, just all of that. Whereas I'm grateful that I have that ability to get to work and get to the store, things like that. It's still another step. It's still another thing to do. It's still, so, but all those things are working themselves out. And we put in the work, we put in the action, and, I'm anxious. I'm for a really nice couple months now. Luckily for me, we're in autumn now, which is my favorite season. And for whatever reason, I tend to feel better in autumn as well. So this is good timing for all of this as well, So I'm really glad that it's autumn, as well. So I guess that's where I'm at right now. I just kind of wanted to update you on what happened with the accident. And then I did have that other accident afterwards, and that's kind of why we had taken some time off there, and we're pretty good at keeping you informed of, hey, we're not going to be, we're not going to have a video tonight. We're taking some time, and we will continue to do that too. I suspect there may be another couple of days. I don't know. Each day I'm feeling a little bit better, but every morning it takes so long for me to get moving, and I hope that goes away, so, but anyway, all right. So, what? I don't want to talk any longer. We're going to talk a little bit once I get Steven. So I'm going to go ahead and get Steven. See you in a minute. Okay. All right. Do you feel a lot better now? Yeah.
Just off your chest.
There is something. Yes, definitely. There's something good about, talking like that. And plus, I like the relatability part of it. Chances are somebody somewhere is going through the same thing.
Yeah.
And even just the fact that someone else is going through it kind of makes you feel a little bit better.
You're not out in the world alone.
Alone. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But all is well, and keep on keeping on, right?
What else can you do? Keep on trucking.
Yeah, and as time goes, time is good that way. I will continue to heal and feel better, both emotionally and physically,
As will we. Yeah.
Yes.
I'd be fine.
Of course.
I go in and out of being fine. It's just part of the deal.
I know. And you have a good ability now to, hi, honey.
You to keep a cat.
Yes. And support animals. Don't
animals.
hurt at all.
Yeah. They're good. Yeah, like I told you guys about Oscar. Every morning, we're going to do good today, right? And then I get home, and he's almost excited like a dog when I see him. And that was cool. So
yeah, that's cool.
Therapy animals. They had one yesterday when I went to do that training. They had this beautiful big German Shepherd named Hallie or something. Trained emotional support dog, not just like I carry my cat, which is fine, but it's actually trained animals. So cute.
Yeah.
So animals have had their place in my recovery along the way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're very healing to have cats and dogs, I think.
But yeah, you have the see, I lose things real quick too.
I wouldn't know anything about that
ability. Yeah. Where's my vape? Where's my lighter? Where's my chapstick?
Where's my drink? Where are the car keys? Where are my shoes? Where's my wallet?
But you have an ability to know that, okay, I'm experiencing this, but it's going to end.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had that from the beginning or not, but that's something I struggle with too. When you're in the middle of something that feels so strong, it feels like it's never ending.
I've never felt any other way before, and I will never ever feel any other way than this ever again.
Yeah, yes.
Those times you thought you were happy,
strong. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
It was a joke. Everyone's just humoring you.
Yeah. Hey, sweetie pie. He just tucked himself right in.
This is the closest this one gets to me.
Ooh.
Here, give me kitty cat hug.
Okay.
So, what should we resolve to do for our mental health? Let's pick like one thing we'll do for the rest of the day.
For the rest of the day?
Yeah, because it's easy. It's the end of the week. There's time to veg.
Well, it's keep reminding ourselves that it's Friday and that we deserve a nice weekend and keep things light and have fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to run to the store in a little bit. I picked out some recipes. I try to do things that I enjoy to do, cooking.
Yeah.
I like to do, so I guess that's good for my mental health.
Mm-hmm.
I picked out a few recipes, so I'm going to go to the store and pick up the stuff for the recipes and then make something.
Which sounds good.
And it always makes me in a better mood, just like working in the garden.
Yeah.
Or,
And there's some good eats that come out of that kitchen. This week, we ate so much other stuff between freezing
and the garden veggies and
dehydrating. Well, that's with my dehydrating projects. It's a small task that has a start and an end.
Yeah.
Makes me feel like I can complete things on a difficult day. So we got more tomato powder on the roof.
What are you going to do?
What am I going to do? I don't know. I might go, I don't know, actually.
Okay.
I'm not going to dwell. But how am I not going to dwell? I'm going to stay engaged in
what I'm doing.
Nice activities, happy activities, and just stay with, you'll be editing, I'll be hanging around, and just have I don't like to schedule rec time.
At home.
Yeah, evening at home
I'm going to put on some pumpkin spice air freshener.
Yeah.
Or
not like rainy day at home, let's clean the closets.
Right.
On a Friday night.
Right. I might put some pumpkins up or something. Like, that type of thing.
Something more easy breezy.
Pet the kitty.
Have either leftovers or order out.
Yeah, it's Friday night. I could maybe order in. I even know I'm cooking.
We have. Well,
I could switch into a craft. And
we got Chinese. I had Chinese one night, and then we had lentil soup with it, I think.
Yeah, I made lentil soup.
Because it was good.
Reuben soup and hamburger vegetable soup.
That Reuben soup was a dark horse. That was pretty good.
It was decent.
It was really good. The meatloaf that was made the same day of it, though, was
meatloaf with macaroni and cheese.
Meatloaf stuffed with mac and cheese, topped with barbecue sauce.
It was very good.
I had it a couple days in a row. It was very tasty. And rich, too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to stay focused on present things, not dwell, and try to notice small victories.
That sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, on that note, Bandit, what's yours?
Yeah?
To get the goop out of his eye.
Oh, yes, you do. To clean your eyeball.
He needs a kitty hole. Thank you all for joining us. Thanks for being here. And thanks for indulging us this lovely Friday. Please do subscribe to hit the notification bell. You'll get alerts when we have new videos and go live. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our contact info's below. Thanks, and we'll catch up with you very soon.
Yes, we will. Thank you so much for listening to me. I hope you got something out of today's video, maybe related a little bit. You have a fantastic weekend. You deserve it. You really do. And we'll see you next time, okay?
Bye.
Ciao, everybody.
Bye, Bandit.